Straight? Started.
Yeah. Okay.
Cari amici sportivi, welcome to yet another edition of Red Card Weekly, here where we speak mostly about the SerieA, some European, sometimes some international. And yes, we're not professionals, nor do we pretend to be. I have to my right, Steve. I'm really happy that Milan sealed their third spot, and I'm sure next year we'll be back on top. Bolino? I have to my left, Francis. I really thought Inter was going to finish the season on a high note, but in the end, we remain to be SerieA's running joke. Hello, Giacomo. And I am convinced, nella gioia e nel dolore, Milano eterno amore, Tavares. Welcome again. Yes, you were the running joke of SerieA. I really, you know what? I actually bet on Inter today because they were a good pick on Miso. They were worth $3. I'm like, Inter's going to win. Palacio's back, and what do you end up doing? Losing.
But that's it. Don't put words in my mouth because no, I did not think Inter would finish on a high note.
And
that's it.
Okay, fine. No,
all right. And guys, you must be wearing your Milan colors with pride today. Let me tell you, you must be proud of your team.
First of all, let me explain something. Everybody out there, you don't know, Francis is a real jinx. When we were losing 1-0 today, Francis decided to message me and Steve over here. I'm so happy you're losing. As soon as he said that,
they didn't come out like that.
No.
I said, what's going on?
No. You know what? You jinxed us. And you know what? I lost today $20 at Miso because I wanted to jinx Inter. Because I know every time I bet for Inter, they always lose. So you know what?
There was no purpose. You jinxed for no purpose.
Okay, yeah.
Anyways,
wait.
Now, you heard it first on Red Card Weekly. People were making fun of me. Conspiracies this, conspiracies that. All of a sudden today, after the Siena incident, everybody on Twitter, oh my God, Milan bought this point. Milan bought this win. Guys, today was the confirmation of what I've been saying for the past 2 months. Milan have been getting calls left, right, always on the right side of the fence. You guys again, 50-50, again they get the call. Milan, in the end, did not deserve to win this game. Fiorentina deserves to be mad. Fiorentina deserves that third spot. And guys, Juventus is like Milan. And I didn't say this year that Juventus was fixing games. I said Milan was. And in the end, I was right, guys. What happened today is totally disgusting, and I don't want to talk about it. I almost wanted to quit the show because of this.
So when we got our red card, being down by 1, we're still down 1-0. That's fixed as well, right? So the way we fixed the game is that we had to pretend that we didn't fix it. So let's get a red card first. Then the other guys got a red card.
Did you get a questionable call yesterday?
We got a questionable penalty. But the crossbar
again,
Prandelli in the front.
That doesn't matter.
We didn't deserve to lose.
It's a questionable call that brought you guys back in the game. That's it.
Guys, the game was lost even before the first whistle went. Let's be very honest. Guys, Allegri's game plan today was totally disgusting.
Yeah.
He left El Shaarawy on the bench for ragione
tecnica. Yeah, okay.
Mr. Allegri, you deserve not only not to be on this bench of the Milan, you deserve not even to be on any bench. Because I have never seen that. Your best player,
one of your best players,
sits on the bench alongside Pazzini, who's scored the second most goals on your team, to play Robinho, who has been
so
here and there, and Niang, who has not been the same player ever since he missed that open net against Barcelona. So ragione tecnica was terrible. Milan, and I agree, did not deserve to win this game. They did not deserve that third Champions League spot. Fiorentina does, because Fiorentina went to Pescara. They knew it was a team that was already in Serie B 2 months ago, and they decided to put 5 goals behind them. Allegri, instead of taking it to Siena in the beginning of the game, they were passing the ball. We were trying to cross the ball in again, which obviously doesn't work because Abate can't produce a cross. And De Sciglio on the other side, who's on the wrong side, can't put a cross because he's getting overflowed. So this game was lost even before the whistle went. All these stupidities, unfortunately, puts a shadow on SerieA all the time. Again. And it's always Milan who's involved in these things. And it's a bit disgusting. Even to be a Milan fan, I was pissed. Because this game should not have been won.
We shouldn't have won with these kind of calls. And I'll admit, right, yes, the penalty, whatever. But what I wish for is that this kind of game, even though yes we won, and on paper we did deserve to win on paper, but I want to make sure that
Paper is shit.
Okay, Steve, I'm just saying. Can you let me speak a little
Paper
bit?
is shit.
Doesn't
mean nothing to think.
What I meant is, I want to make sure that Milan realizes that we still have a lot of holes that need to be filled. It's not because we qualify for Champions League next year. We still have a lot of work to do. And yes, I was talking to Steve during the game is that if we end up losing this game, maybe it'll be more of a eye opener for Milan. We won. Maybe with some controversy. I'll give you that much.
Controversy.
But this referee, what's his name there? Tagliavento, Bonanzoni. I think he had both bad calls because even like some of the yellows at the end for the red card for Siena, I didn't see a red card from over there. Anyways,
Guys.
we won. This is SerieA.
All right.
That's it. That's all.
It seems we've been repeating ourselves all year with Allegri. Now, does he save his job because they qualify for Champions League? Or is it Allegri that says, tell me, bye-bye, I'm finding myself another job?
I hope, for the love of everybody and for my health,
Yes.
please say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Because honestly, the decisions made this year, and from the beginning of the season till the last game, which I have to add, Milan, the team and the second half that they had, should have never been in this position. It should have been closed a long time ago, the third spot, because Fiorentina did have a dip.
They did.
Now, my only disappointment with Fiorentina not making this third spot qualification, is that it would have been nice to see Fiorentina finish third, only for them to be able to retain some players on their team and maybe spend some money and bring some top players to SerieA. Now, what will Fiorentina do? Will they be sellers?
But Francis, let's admit one thing: that Fiorentina during that dip. The dip was longer than your usual dip through a team, and they only have themselves to be blamed because they lost some games at home. They lost some games against bottom tier teams. So I hope they can maybe take the Europa League seriously. This is an automatic qualification for Fiorentina. They do have the players. I'm not saying to win the Europa League, but hopefully they do keep those players, or they might have to sell maybe Jovetic.
Which was the last Italian team that took this tournament seriously, anyways? Already, I read an article this week. There's not too many teams from the top leagues that take this too seriously. They have to rethink the whole process.
So the only good idea that Platini had all this last couple of months is making a 64-team Champions League. Get rid of the Europa League, make a 64-team Champions League knockout phase. That is it. That is all. And let's go. That would be maybe a bit more preferable.
All right, guys. This week,
Inter lost 5-2.
Yes, okay. But now it's finished. SerieA is over.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the national team, Confederation.
Before we do that, Stramaccioni, does he stay? Does he go?
Well, now I have no clue what's happening. Where all these rumors going and coming.
Do you keep him if you're Moratti?
I would keep him because he costs nothing and really we don't know his value. Now, if Inter plans on really spending big money on proven players, go get another coach. If you want to go with youth and everything, keep Stramaccioni. Absolutely.
All right.
That's my thinking.
It's a good answer. It's a good answer.
All right. So Prandelli made the call-ups for national team. Not the official team yet.
Well, they named what? 31 players. Got to go down to 23. And Francis,
again. There's a lot of guys that deserve to be called up. At least just crack that 30-man roster.
Yeah.
But Giaccherini is not one of them. Guys, you cannot have a guy that plays... How many games did he start this year? 5? Maybe?
And 3 when the Scudetto was over.
So,
how does a guy like that get called up? I don't understand.
Is it possible that maybe Prandelli... instead, he's got his formation in his head, and he sees Giaccherini playing one of those positions, and that's what we wanted to talk about.
I think he wants to play Giaccherini anywhere.
I think Giaccherini's call up is more because of his versatility. Can play in multiple spots in case of injury.
Yeah, but what does he start to it screws every freaking game?
We don't know, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know. But there's other players who should have deserved a call up that didn't. He decided to go with Gilardino as maybe his.
I have no problem with Gilardino.
Yes, but then you look at a guy like Di Natale and all that he's done this year. If you look at the numbers of Gilardino and Di Natale, I would probably take Di Natale ahead of Gilardino.
Wait, Di Natale had a lot of chance for the national team previously, and to be honest, he's not the same player. At Udine, everything is based around him. Yes, he's a fantastic player. Again, today he proved it. But guys, on the national team setup, he's not the main guy. The play's not going towards him. Giardino's more the type of a guy that the ball comes in the box, you can make something happen out of nothing, a turn, being strong. I'm okay with that call-up, to be honest.
But then if you want that type of player, you have Pazzini as well.
That's what I was going to say.
Pazzini is a younger version of Gilardino.
No,
Older.
Giardino is very combative in that box. Pazzini, if he doesn't get service, nothing's happening.
But he's going to get service.
But
He has the
that's
best
what I
players in Italy.
Anyways, Pazzini with a flat four, that's the only way. In the midfield, that's the only time he could be effective. If Prandelli's not playing with a flat four and wingers, forget about
So
Pazzini.
let's say one thing today. With all the players that we know are going to make the national team, what is if we were coaches, what is our preferred formation for these star players that we have in our team?
I would like a 4-3-3 or a 4-3-1-2. I know it keeps us very narrow, but I'm not a fan of the 4-4-2 for the national team.
How about a 4-2-3-1? Do you see but then we got to go in front of the defense. What do you put? You have Montolivo, De Rossi, Pirlo, and those three there. What do you got? Those wingers, you could put El Shaarawy, but then it's that trequartista. What are we going to put?
The formation's coming from Grande Carlito. He's going to play the Christmas tree. 4-3-2-1. Balotelli needs to be by himself up there. He cannot be involved in the play defensively because it takes a lot out of him.
Yeah, it does.
And he can't come too deep. Today against Milan, Balotelli was tracking back because Allegri is not intelligent enough to feel the formation like that. Prandelli, who I like very much, and who's probably going to be the next Milan coach after he finishes with La Nazionale, will put a 4-3-2-1 formation to help Balotelli because the two guys behind Balotelli, which is probably going to be El Shaarawy and who knows whoever.
But then we have what they call the wingers. We have Cerci, they called up as a winger.
Okay, Cerci is a good player. He's probably our only natural winger. But he's not a dominant player to bring at these tournaments and win a tournament.
Look at Diamante in the Euros. Diamante was a fantastic super sub. Cerci could be used the same way. Italy, we've never played with wingbacks. We can't because we defend so much. We rely so much on our defense that, yes, soccer is changing, but Italy will never change.
One thing's for sure, that whole experiment during the Euros, are we ever going to try this three defenseman formation again?
I don't believe that the Italian team has...
We will try it.
Nah.
Just tell me when you're going to get a Maldini, Baresi, and whoever else you want to put.
Unless that time didn't work when they had De Rossi just ahead of the three defensemen. And he was playing that whole center back going back and forth, but we'll see. Hopefully the best for Italy, and let's see if Giaccherini makes this team or not.
Anyways, Verratti doesn't call up. Don't be surprised. He's going to play with the under-21s, absolutely. And this under-21 team has a very good chance of winning the Euro.
Reuniting
the under-17 team lost the final of the Euro in penalty shots to Russia,
and they dominated.
Yeah. So that's more youth coming up.
Yeah,
but I'm really pissed, and I said it the other week, that the stupid Euros and the Confederations Cup overlap each other because Verratti, Insigne, for sure, we're going to be on this 31 squad, and even Immobile. We know that some people were on the show before. We're not going to name any names. Sammy. He said that Immobile was better than El Shaarawy. Well, we see what happened with that, and we see that Sammy is no longer on the show.
All right, guys. So we'll talk about some rumors that have been going. Apparently, guys, Icardi to Inter is done.
It's like 17
I'm
times
not even surprised.
I think Icardi is going to be a great addition to Inter, but we need to hear from Inter that they want to go with this whole youth system, let's say, like Milan.
Where else would Icardi go? All the Argentinians play with Inter. It's only normal that he would end up with Inter one day, which is probably a good thing because he could be something as used as maybe a stepping stone to get over the Milito hump because Milito's getting older in age. They're all Argentinian. There's Il Capitano's going to come back after his Achilles tendon got shot with the arrow.
And there's two players that have been linked with Juventus. Finally, one I think that is a top player, Tevez. He's linked with Juventus, but also Monaco and PSG are interested.
He did say something about Monaco, Tevez, so I don't know. No, I don't see Tevez. Maybe Higuain, we were talking about it last week.
Guys, Tevez, every single move he's made is for money.
He did say
fine.
Monaco,
Magari.
He goes, Magari andrò al Monaco, so he's basically saying like maybe he likes the whole project, like when he went to Manchester City. And you know what, he is right. All these moves, when you go to from Manchester United to Manchester City, you ain't doing it for the pride of playing football, you're doing it for the money. To each their own, but I see more in Monaco than Juventus.
Also, Diamante's been linked with Juventus, but apparently the talks between Bologna and Juventus have it.
what a
I
surprise.
probably Bologna is not very happy with the attitude of Juventus.
Man, no kidding, because Juventus, they want Bologna to give them Diamante. Here, take our best player because you're Juve, he's worth 5, we're going to give you 1.3. So that's what's going to happen with Juve. Juve will not be able to make a transfer in the Serie A. They want Lilic and Jovetic from Fiorentina. Do you remember the last time there was a transfer between Juventus and Fiorentina?
Roberto Baggio.
The city of Florence will explode if that
Chaos.
It will be pandemonium. Pandemonium.
They're gonna have to go all'estero because
And they're going to have to pay for Berbatov's
yeah,
flight ticket.
yeah,
again.
they're gonna play for Berbatos. But Juventus, I see them more grab. I don't think they're gonna grab internally. Some players are gonna leave. But Diamante, I always like Diamante. But where would he play?
But
in this whole 3-5-2, unless Conte,
he made some
intelligent coach that he is, maybe might have a second plan, a second formation where he can put in Diamante.
I think he's looking into it because Conte has made some requests to the Juventus manager for him to stay. He's made some special requests, and he said he wants 2 real top players.
This is where we have reached in this league. Antonio Conte, no hair, makes requests to the best team in Serie A for him to stay. He's even lucky he's on that bench.
And he said that he wants to get rid of 7 to 8 players and bring in 7 and 8 new players on the
Yeah, 19. On Sky Sport Italia this week, there was 472 possible formations for Juve and all their players that they want. Now Juve wants Zoniga too. Let's play Higuain. And what happened to Vucinic? Vucinic, we're going to sell him to get back someone else. If I'm Vucinic, I scored a goal for the
Totally
and I took off my shorts for this team. This is ridiculous.
But I have to admit, this week, yesterday, his hair looked really good. He did have a cap on because it was raining, but his sideburns were really good.
The fashion aspect of the show, we leave it up to you.
Serse Cosmi, another fashionable ex-coach in Serie A. Very nice. Very nice.
Guys, on a more serious note, Mourinho apparently is going to Chelsea. De Rossi is apparently fed up at Roma, and Roma apparently is willing to part ways with De Rossi. And now they're talking maybe De Rossi to Chelsea.
De Rossi, if Roma get a top coach, not a Andrea Zolli, not a
Allegri, not Allegri either.
Allegri, I don't think. But I think what De Rossi wants to see from Roma is stability and consistency. You need to have a program. I think and you know what? I get the guy.
De Rossi, number 10, he's been on the team longer than you, and he stayed, and he never left for money. So if you said you're a quarter to Roma, you stay on the stupid team.
If he was playing for money, would
For Italy, for the Nazionale.
He would have left
For the Nazionale, him getting out of Roma is good. Chelsea is a good fit for him. Because the English Premier League, we know that Manchester United will not be the same.
Listen, the way De Rossi played at the Euro, this is the De Rossi I want to see, and this year I did not see him. Maybe for health reason, the way Roma treated him, the switch of coaches and everything. Maybe it's something you should look at. And if Roma could really cash in on it, I would look into it.
I would cash in on it too.
If you get 40 million for De Rossi,
it's a lot of money.
They're not going to get 40 million.
Guys, now this I don't know if it's true. This involves your team, Milan. Apparently, Milan is interested in Xabi Alonso from Real Madrid. Now, Alonso, no, I read this. Alonso is 31 years old. I remember a couple of years, Milan actually let Pirlo go to Juventus. Pirlo's a better player than Alonso. He brings more, and they're willing to part ways with Pirlo. But now you want to bring in Alonso at this age?
are we going to get into the Pirlo conversation?
Well, you brought it up last week, so we'll just talk about Alonso. Do you see
Alonso is
Alonso
a defensive midfielder. He's not a Pirlo, even you.
No. He's the same role. He likes to distribute the ball. He can't win a tackle, this guy.
He's going to take free kicks like Pirlo? He's not going to be a trequartista like Pirlo?
He's a regista. Xabi Alonso's a regista. Yes, he is. Do you see him on your team? I think it would be pretty nice compared to Montari, Flamini, but I don't see this guy.
He's a lumberjack. Xabi Alonso is he not a lumberjack?
Are you crazy?
Semi lumberjack.
No. Xabi Alonso is a class player, slightly overrated, but he's a class player. Come on,
I would greet him with open arms, but I don't think he's a
I understand that you don't see a lot of Spanish soccer, but okay, so maybe I shouldn't have spoken.
Alonso does not fit in the Milan DNA.
I stream soccer, unlike you. That I try to make this guy streaming internet. What is that streaming internet? Okay, Francis.
Now, there's another rumor that if this happens, I throw myself out of my car. When my car's going under my car.
No.
A swap between Napoli and Inter for Guarin and England. Straight swap.
Beautiful.
That's a
4
good
quarters
deal
for a buck.
This is a good deal.
That's a very good
I'm
deal.
not saying Inler is not a good player, but Inler cannot bring to a team what Guarin brings to our team.
Guarin doesn't want to stay at Inter because he doesn't want to be part of a losing team.
Okay, that's fine. You know what? That's fine.
What are you gonna do? Sell him?
Yeah, you could cash in some big bucks because I know.
No, you sold Snyder. You sold Snyder for $7.5
It was a
million.
different situation.
What are you gonna sell Guarin
It was
for?
a contract thing and everything. No, Guarin, Tottenham wants him. Apparently, a few teams that want. I'm sure you could sell Guarin for 20, 25 million.
They should create
How
a
much?
bidding war.
20, 25.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get 20, 25 million for Guarin, but they could cause a bidding war for Guarin, and Inler's not the player for Inter. That's absolutely not the. And this is the team
Oh,
who got
sorry.
rid of
What do you have in
Philippe Coutinho.
They added
Who's going
Gargano in the deal too. They said you could keep Gargano.
Okay, give Gargano. But I think Inler is still a quality midfielder, but maybe not to fit, like Steve was saying, maybe not to fit into the Inter plan.
Okay, and finally, guys, I just want to talk about Mazzari because now Mazzari's staying at Napoli, Mazzari going to Inter, Mazzari going to Roma,
He didn't- no,
Mazzari
he
going to
doesn't.
Anzi, Mazzari taking a year off. What's going on with Mazzari?
Mazzari's not going to be the coach of Napoli next year. That I could put my hand on fire. Where he's going to go, honestly, even though I think it would be a good fit for you guys, I don't see him going to
A
Inter.
good fit to Inter to play with a back three at Inter. What Stramaccioni was doing, they were sort of crucifying the guy.
So he's going to play with a back four.
Mazzari's gonna play with a back four. I don't remember seeing Mazzari. Mazzari plays the same system for the past 3 years. He plays that back.
Where's he
three.
going to go? Where's he going to go?
I don't know, but don't come to Inter
Roma?
because it won't work.
He's
I
gonna
don't
go
know.
Roma?
I don't want him at Inter. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but that back three at Inter does not work. That's
The best fit for Mazzari would be Rome, just because they still have pieces that are positive and to play with. Mazzari, look, ladies and gentlemen, Mazzari's not an idiot. He knows Cavani's not going to be there next year. Only Cavani himself is responsible for almost 30 points.
It's true.
Where he's going to get those 30 points next year with Napoli? Insigne? I doubt it.
If you do get rid of Cavani and you bring in a guy like Dzeko, you don't believe in your
Champions League football.
Champions League, you got the revenue coming in, and honestly, guys, I will admit, I don't think Cavani's going anywhere. I think he's going to stay. I think De Laurentiis is going to play his cards close to his heart and keep him, and that's what he's going to use to keep Mazzari to go. Let's go. Probably not win the Champions League, but try to make it into
Like last time,
quarterfinals.
they did
And they almost beat
Yes,
Bayern Munich last
yes.
time. So
Chelsea too. They got kicked out by Chelsea.
Again, I'm going to go on this again. Where have we come to in soccer these days? Mazzari, what have you done to say the possibility of him taking a year off? It drives me insane. What have you done?
he wants to relax.
What have you done? What have you done?
like Conte.
What has he done? Conte, at least he played in Champions League.
wait. Mazzari, to his credit, he's made Napoli a very credible team.
That's true.
All right,
But has
very
he done,
consistent.
but has he have done enough to say, you know what? There's another guy who took a year off. We all remember the guy who took a year off. He won everything there is to win.
True.
So he decided to take a year off. And then he went and get his project team, Bayern Munich.
Yeah, he's still bitter about that.
Yes. All right, guys. So there's a lot of rumors going, and I think it's going to be an active summer. Opposite to last year, I think this year's going to be a lot of transfer. I don't know why people are willing to splash. It's going to be straight swaps, maybe. There's going to be a lot of deals. Quickly on Beckham. Beckham retired, and I see a lot of people. Beckham should be a knight. Beckham this and Beckham that. What's your take on David Beckham?
Beckham brought, I think, people should remember that, yes, he was a fantastic player at his prime, things he could do with set pieces, but I think other than set pieces, he was never above average, say, on other things like, playmaking. Yes, he had those great moments, but I think Beckham should be remembered for what he brought to soccer off the field. MLS-wise, marketing-wise, but I'm not taking anything away from him, but I think people are putting him on a pedestal like a Maradona or Pele. I'm sorry, Beckham, you ain't nowhere close to that. You've done great for the football world. I think it was time for him to retire. And yes, some people might not like to knight him. What has he done to knight, like Beckham? Anyways, I don't want to disrespect the guy.
In terms of being a professional athlete, he was always professional. He's been put in some rough spots, especially at Madrid when he was benched. He never complained. He came back on the field, won a spot. Even Capello said, you know what, I was wrong about this guy. This guy's a true professional. He's not a problem in the dressing room. He's an honest athlete, and he had qualities. And he knew what his qualities were, and he based his game on that.
He was part of an England team where the players were so-so, but because he was so much better than everybody else, maybe that might be the reason that everybody sees him a bit.
I don't think he was much better than everybody else. Yeah, the midfielder, Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard, playing at their prime.
Yeah, but that
David Beckham is not better than Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard.
Gerrard and Lampard weren't playing in the early 2000s.
If they knight David Beckham, start. The Queen is gonna get tired of going.
All right, guys, enough on David Beckham. Congratulations on a great career.
Van Bommel as well. Good retirement to Van Bommel.
Yeah, but there's nothing to say about
Next
Van
up,
Van Bommel.
Except he almost killed 4 or 5 guys.
I actually got red
throughout
card
his
on
career.
his last game. Did you see
Nah.
that? He got it. He got a red card.
Finally, guys, our red cards of the week. I'm going to start with mine, which goes to all the Milan fans on Twitter, specifically the arrogance that you guys have. Guys, just relax. Just don't tweet. Just say, we're lucky we got our Champions League spot. That's what we wanted. Thank you. Undeserved, but we got it. And let's move on to the next season. Just leave it at that. Don't try to defend yourself. There's nothing to defend. It is what it is. That's it. Next.
Anything else you want to add?
No,
That's fine. Okay, good. You want to go ahead with yours?
My red card goes to Zeman, guy who got the boot from Roma, not in the game anymore, possibly going back to Pescara and SerieA B. Good, because I don't want to hear from him anymore. I don't understand why he opens his big mouth anymore. I think he should just continue smoking because he decided that he was going to inject himself into a conversation which the world in Europe don't want to get into, racism. He says that the boos to Balotelli, boos, we know what sounds they're making, I don't want to repeat it here, just for the integrity of our show.
Thank you.
They're not because the people are racist, they're because of Balotelli's attitude. Zen, just shut up.
Yeah, seriously, Zema. Thank you very much.
I'm going to be in the news.
And my red card of the week goes to Francis Colo.
Oh, no.
Francis decides before here that he wants to get me nervous. Me, I'm not coming to the show. Me, you guys are all fixed. Milan this, and the referee's this, and Sylvia. And I was like, go screw yourself. Don't show up. I'm going to film without you. And I had to find out he was just trying to pump me. But you know what? Deep down inside, I know he still thinks that we paid for this game.
He was pumping.
Even though, yeah, he was freaking pumping me up. But even though you have two true Milanistas here that could admit when we do get lucky, and we will admit when we do buy games, and this one we didn't buy. We won.
This one was.
But we
passed the interact.
Well, exactly. But you know what, guys? I still love this guy, even though he likes about the conspiracy theories. I love his son, even though he's a bit plump. And don't call him fat. You understand? Don't call him fat. Guys,
all heterosexuals here.
Next week we're going to talk to you about the Coppa Italia finals. There's the Champions League final, and then we're going to talk to you guys. SerieA Live guys, pay attention to their show tomorrow. They have their starting 11. We should be making an appearance on their show. And we should. I said it's tomorrow. No?
Oh yeah, it's tomorrow.
It's on June 3rd.
Why you June 3rd?
Oh no, sorry, I mean June 3rd. Okay, forget what I just said. We'll see you guys next week with Champions League, Coppa Italia, and our SerieA team of the week. And Francis is going to show up next week.
Ciao.
Ciao.